Robert F. Patton would see his mother pass away, leave high school, join the Navy, serve on the USS Intrepid, survive the kamikaze bombing of the USS Manort Abele, wed Ms. Catherine Regina Brockwell, be transferred to shore duty in Hawthorne, Nevada, see America be victorious in the war and end the fighting, and transfer to civilian life, all between 1942 and 1945. At the end of the war, Bob and Jean were anxious to move back to Washington, D.C. to begin their new life together. Bob talked about getting into law enforcement, but quickly found opportunity in printing. He earned an apprenticeship in the printing trade and quickly excelled in the field. By the late 1940s, Bob was employed by the Washington Post. He and Jean owned their home and had begun a family. By 1958, Bob and Jean had 5 daughters: Mary, or Muffins, Teresa, known as Teetsy, Kathy, Jeannie, and Julie. But sadly, Jean would not see their girls grow up. On March 3, 1961, Jean would pass away after a long battle with cancer. She would leave her husband to raise 5 young daughters. She was buried in Washington, D.C., as Bob references, but was later moved to Arlington National Cemetery so that her daughters could eventually have both of their parents together for eternity in America's most hallowed ground. Bob would raise his 5 girls. He worked hard at the Washington Post and, as he mentioned, would take up various odd jobs to make ends meet. He was a stubborn, hard-working man who claimed to never have taken a sick day from work. He would serve as a local union president for a period, representing printers of the Washington Post, and he would finally retire after more than 30 years of service to the newspaper. Upon retirement, he vowed never to work again. He kept this promise, took up golf, and moved to Bethany Beach, Delaware. His 5 girls would marry and start families of their own. Bob would become a grandfather 21 times over and become known as Der Dad. He would always make time to get to soccer, football, or softball games. Bob would, though, begin to slow down as the new millennium came and began to battle the onset of Alzheimer's disease. By 2009, Bob would also have 32 great-grandchildren. He did not get to know many of these great-grandchildren, but through this video, they will know him, as will his great-great-grandchildren for generations to come, as the American hero he became.